AAC softball fans, welcome. It is championship time. We have the number 4 seeded Johnson University Royals. You have the number 7 seeded Brenau University Golden Tigers. They earned their trip to the championship after a win over Tennessee Wesleyan in last game. Johnson earned their way into the championship with the run rule victory over Brenau yesterday. So we are going to see a rematch over the Royals and the Golden Tigers. What do you think we can see in this game?
Well, yesterday Johnson was a run rule victory over Brenau. The first time that we've seen this high-powered Brenau offense really struggle to get on base, struggle to score runs, and they're going to be coming into this one, Deshaun, with a little revenge on their mind, and it's a little different now. You're playing for a championship, and a tough hill to climb for Brenau. Try to win this one, force the if necessary game. Johnson look to close it out in one and take the trophy home with them.
And you make a great point. That was going to be my next point, actually, is if Johnson is to win, Johnson takes it. They are the AAC tournament champions. If Brenau is to force a win, we go to the if game.
Yeah, and, you just start to take a look at the lineup for Brenau. They'll be without Peyton Hawkins. She was injured yesterday, gave it a valiant effort in her first game today, but not in the lineup for the Golden Tigers. First team all-conference, great player. She will be missed.
Absolutely. So next pitch, nicely took that. She is starting in the circle today. So listen nicely. So far, 2-1 count. She'll take this pitch. 2-2 count.
Dayton Power, the leadoff hitter again for Brenau, another first-team all-conference performer. 32 stolen bases on the year, .435 average from Brazelton, Georgia.
That outside pitch a bit low. That brings to a full count.
And again, this top part of this Brenau lineup, so very dangerous when they get on base.
As now, that is going to be hit right in that infield. Leadoff single. Dayton Power, another game where she gets on as the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, Dayton Power, patient at bat, drove that one over the head of the pitcher into shallow center field. Leadoff single for Power and the Golden Tigers.
So now Power on first. You get Ava Moon up. And how about the performance that she had last game?
Yeah, just a phenomenal performance from Moon. RBI bunt single in the first, double in the third, 2-run home run in the fifth. And just certainly drove in all 3 runs for the Golden Tigers in that 3-0 victory.
And Baldridge will get that first out as she chased it going into that right center.
That's a big out for a couple reasons. You retire Moon, keep her off the bases, but you don't allow Power to tag, keep her at first as Whitney Halsey comes to the plate for Brenau.
Whitney Halsey, she went 1 for 4 in the last game against Johnson. So that first pitch was caught a ball. And then in the game against Tennessee Wesleyan, she also got on with the hit.
Takes that one to opposite field. Caught to retire Halsey for out number 2.
2 outs on the board. That brings catcher Allie McGee up to the plate. Allie McGee in the last game, 2 for 4. In the game against Johnson yesterday, 0 for 3.
Power over at first, getting a big lead with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Anxious to see if they let her try to steal a base. Throw back behind her, dives back safely. Once again, Power with a lot of speed, 32 stolen bases on the season. Second in the AAC in steals.
That ball hitting the foul territory. 1-2 count. So now, 1-2 count, 2 outs on the board. Gets contact, that goes back into foul territory. Dayton Power will make her way back to first.
Good at bat from McGee, fouling some pitches off. Getting some looks at the pitcher for Johnson, Alyssa, nicely. 2 outs in the inning. Power will be moving on contact. What a pitch.
Woo, that was a great pitch. That will, with only 1 hit given up in this inning, Johnson leaves a runner stranded for Brenau, and now we will see their offense, who will make their way in the bottom of the first here on Southeast Sports Network. We'll take a quick break, talk more about them after this.
Leading off for Johnson, the center fielder.
Bottom of the first action in this championship game, we will have Sloan Baldridge, who will be leading off. In that last game, she was 1 for 3 against Brenau. Had 2 runs scored. Back in the circle is Emily Hall. Emily Hall just pitched a complete game. And they're going to go with her in the circle again. First pitch called strike.
Yeah, Emily Hall, fantastic outing earlier today. Got the shutout, complete game, and the victory to put Brenau in this situation.
And already in a good situation now. 0-2 count. First 2 pitches, both strikes. It's now Hall. She'll take this next pitch. Get some contact on that. That brings it to a 0-2 count. Emily Hall in that last game moved to 16-6. Complete game, giving up 4 hits. Shut out Tennessee Wesleyan. Struck out 3 batters.
Pretty solid day, and we'll ride Emily Hall here in this first game as long as they can.
That is going to be hit into the right center. That is going to be caught for the first out. Dayton Power chasing after that.
Yeah, Power. Great job out in center. Covers a lot of territory. Brings Morehouse to the plate for the Royals.
And with that, Morehouse makes her way safely to first.
Yeah, hard ground ball back to the pitcher. Hall could not field it off her glove. Then scoots away in the infield. Will send Morehouse to first.
Thacker Wolf in the last game against Brenau. She went 2 for 3, 1 run scored. It's that first pitch called strike, 0-1 count.
Yeah, Madison Thacker Wolf, second team all conference, 442 batting average, 44 RBI in the season from Seymour, Tennessee. And she's had a great tournament, Deshaun, just solid all the way around. Offense, defense, when she gets on base. She's also has a lot of speed, can take that extra bag.
As Morehouse is on first. Hall takes the pitch. Thacker Wolf, she'll get some contact. That is going to go straight to Ava Moon. Ava Moon will get that force out to Brookshire. 4-3 put out. 2 outs on the board.
Now batting the first baseman, number 24, Megan Armstrong.
2 down, runner at second for Armstrong.
You want to talk about a very impactful player yesterday. It was Megan Armstrong. She went 4 for 4 yesterday. 1 run scored, 4 RBIs. And if you remember, she was the one that knocked it out.
Yeah, big fly for Armstrong. Lots of power. Hits from that left side, very aggressive in the box. 390 hitter on the year, 7 home runs. Those 7 home runs, good for third in the AAC conference.
So now Emily Hall is ahead in that count. 0-2 count, 2 outs on the board. Morehouse on second. Now Armstrong. She's getting ready to take this next pitch. Sun gazing over the field at Brickyard Park right now.
Beautiful day here at the ballpark. Once again, we've had great weather this week. A 30-minute lightning delay yesterday. And then Wednesday, a little longer of a lightning delay, but pretty much been on time here in Kingsport.
As that is smoked right into right field. Hit into foul territory. Brings it back to a 0-2 count.
Armstrong, the third baseman, showing at the plate why she's such a dangerous hitter, spraying balls in foul territory all over the field. She can pull the ball, she can go opposite field, and certainly right up the middle.
And that's going to get some contact right into center, and that is going to be caught by Dayton Power. So after giving up 1 hit in this inning, Brenau goes into the top of the second, looking to get their offense rolling. See if the Golden Tigers, with 1 hit on the board all day already, can follow, drive in some runs. We'll find out on Southeast Sports Network.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
We enter the top of the second. Action as now Alyssa Nicely will return to the circle. 1 inning of work, 1 batter struck out, 15 total pitches. Bree Brookshire will now lead off this inning as she is playing first base. Had to move to first base. She was a DP in the last game.
You're right, Deshaun. Nicely had a real nice first inning. Only, give up the 1 hit to Power, the leadoff hitter, but retired the next 3 in order and dealt very effectively with the top part of that Brenau lineup. And, when Brenau's had a lot of success in this tournament, the top part of that lineup, Power, Moon, Halsey, McGee, able to get on base, knock runs in. So huge first inning for Nicely, and we're still scoreless here in the top of the second.
That inside pitch will be called for a ball. Just misses that spot. 2-1 count. Now she'll take this next pitch. That is going to be hit in the foul territory. Brings the deuces on the board for a 2-2 count.
The 4 seed versus the 7 seed.
We've seen a very wild conference tournament.
Really
I'll
have.
tell you that. We saw the number 9 seed defeat. We'll talk about that as Brookshire is struck out. That is strikeout number 2 for Alyssa Nicely. Callie Dell in the DP spot will be making her first at bat. But yeah, we talk about this tournament. Number 9 seed Columbia College knocked out Truett McConnell. We saw Bryan College and Reinhardt both be put out in this tournament as well.
You know, we mentioned it yesterday. These two teams, when they packed for this trip to Kingsport, they brought enough clothes to stay for the whole week. They good intentions to win this thing as Dale singles to right field.
It's great contact on that bat. Gets you right past in that middle, right through Armstrong and Thacker Wolf. She'll make her way to first.
Yeah, hit that one hard right in the 3-4 hole into right field. One out single for Dale. Brings up Allie Busby.
Allie Busby last game, 2 for 4. This time, that is going to be a put out from Baldridge.
Baldridge with the throw to first to try to catch Dale sleeping.
It's a great throw. There's a lot of rocket in that.
This is on a rope.
As now Riley Smith up the bat.
To make a mental note not to run when Sloan Bones Baldridge has the ball in center field.
First pitch was called a strike, 0-1 count, 2 outs on the board. That will, Thacker Wolf gets it right to first to Armstrong. Third out of the inning. So with one hit given up in this inning, same as last result, Johnson will hold and keep Brenau scoreless. We now go into the bottom of the inning, and we will see if the Royals can get that offense going, as Autumn Kaywood will be leading off. We'll talk more about her after this quick break on Southeast Sports Network. Bottom of the second action, you now have Autumn Kaywood, who's going to be leading off. Autumn Kaywood, look at her numbers from the Reinhardt game. She was 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. And then you look at the game against Brenau, she went 1 for 3.
Yeah, Kaywood having a good week here in Kingsport. Pops that one up. Nice play by the catcher for Brenau. Allie McGee coming out of her stance to retire Kaywood in foul territory. A free out number 1. And that'll bring up Allie Dickerson to the plate.
Allie Dickerson, she went 1 for 3 yesterday, 1 run scored in that game against Reinhardt. 0 for 5, 1 RBI. This time that is going to be corralled by Halsey. Halsey gets it right to first to Brookshire, out number 2.
Yeah, great play by Halsey to retire Dickerson.
Left fielder, number 22.
Emily Hall thrown only 4 or 5 pitches this inning and already has 2 outs. And since this is her second game of the day, the fewer pitches she can throw, I think the longer she can stay out there.
Absolutely. And if you're Johnson, you're going to want to challenge her. You saw yesterday in a situation where they were fouling a lot of pitches off. Then got to the point once they started getting those hits, they had to pull her out of the game.
Just missed with that pitch off the outside part of the plate to Reese Burns. Burns, another one of these very dangerous hitters for Johnson University. 357 on the season, 17 RBIs. Those are great numbers, batting in the 7th spot.
2-1 count, 2 outs on the board. And this time that is going to be a swing and a miss. Deuces up on the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Yeah, Burns took a cut at that one, just couldn't catch up to the offering from Hall. 0-0 here in the bottom of the second inning.
This time gets contact that is going into foul territory. She'll have another go at bat.
Yeah, didn't like that pitch. A little on the outside part of the plate. Too close to take, so she just fouls it off down the first baseline. 2-2 count to Burns.
This time that is going to be corralled. Ava Moon to Brookshire, 4-3 putout. That is going to be a 3-up, 3-down type of inning. We're going to see Brenau go into the top of the third, try to get that offense going. Charlotte Smith will be leading off. We'll take a quick break here on Southeast Sports Network. Top of the third action in the championship game of the AAC Softball Championships in Kingsport, Tennessee. Big shout out to Visit Kingsport for their hospitality that they've given all of us and just making sure every team and every member who has been working here has been well taken care of. Also, a big shout out to the grounds crew who has done a lot of work. I know we've given them a lot of cameo appearances on these streams this week, but they have worked so hard. So just wanted to give a quick shout out as we go into the top of the third with Charlotte Smith leading off. And listen nicely, 2 innings of work in the circle. 2 batters struck out, 25 total pitches.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Deshaun. A lot of work goes into hosting an event like this, and everybody with the AAC and Visit Kingsport have knocked this one out of the park.
That first pitch was called a strike, 0-1 count. Nicely looking to continue her day in that circle. Try to contain these batters for Brenau. That went a bit out of the zone. 1-1 count. Now nicely, she'll take this next pitch. This time that has some contact. That will be corralled first out of the inning. Great way to chase that. That is Reese Burns.
The center fielder, number 3, Dayton Power.
Now Dayton Power, her second go at bat.
Single to lead off this game back in the first inning. Starting the second time through the lineup for Brenau.
And nicely, she's made quick work of most of the batters so far. Power, she's just one of those batters you're going to have to earn. You're going to have to really try to get her out because she's swinging, and when she connects and gets contact, she's getting on. She has a lot of speed. As we see it, she gets it right past the infield. She's going to make her way to first. 1-out single.
Great job by Baldridge in center for Johnson. Hustling over to get that ball, get it in to second base. Holds Power at first. So many times this week we've seen her take second on a very similar play. And holding her to first in that situation. Great job by Baldridge.
That ball hit in foul territory. Brings the 0-1 count. Power will make her way back. Ava Moon so far 0 for 1 on the day. She did fly out to center field.
Thought Power was taken off there. Retreats back to first. 1 ball, 1 strike to the batter, Ava Moon.
Now nicely takes that. And Ava Moon, first hit of the game. Now Power round second. She's going to round third. She's going to make her way home. Ava Moon to second. First run scored. Brenau opens the scoring column.
And that's how Brenau's offense works. Power gets on with a nice single. Then Ava Moon smokes one to the left center field gap. She's got a stand-up double, and with the speed of Power, she scores easily from first base. The Brenau Golden Tigers strike first, lead 1-0 here in the top of the third inning.
1-0 Brenau now in the lead. 1 out on the board. Gets contact on that. That is going to drop into left field. And Ava Moon, she's going to round third. She's going to make her way home. She is safe.
And again, highlighting the speed of Brenau. Once the ball got down in the outfield, Moon, no hesitation, rounding third. Slides home safely, but she could have stood up and crossed home plate, but back-to-back hits for Brenau, and now they lead 2-0.
As Halsey got that hit. Brenau now at 5 hits. She'll get contact on that. Halsey will hold at second.
That will be the second out of the inning as McGee is retired. As you know, Alyssa Nicely got the first out of the inning. Charlotte Smith flew out to left, and 3 consecutive hits for Brenau. Plates 2 runs.
As that does carry into center field. Brenau does take the lead and 2 runs, 3 hits in this inning. So now we are going to see if Johnson can try to match that going into the bottom of the third. Here we'll find out after this quick break here on Southeast Sports Network. Bottom of the third action, Johnson Royals will have Ella Hampton, who will be leading off for the Royals. So first at bat, right now Emily Hall is containing Johnson's offense in that circle. They have 1 hit so far.
Yeah, she's done a great job. 2 complete innings pitched. Nice play over in left field by Busby to catch the long foul ball from Hampton for out number 1.
Now batting the shortstop, number 14.
And, you know, when you take a look at Emily Hall, not thrown many pitches. She's 22 total pitches here through 3 1/3 innings.
First pitch called a ball. That is Madison Hood is up to bat. Madison Hood yesterday 0 for 2, struck out. She'll try to get a hit going today. Gets contact on that ball. That does go into foul territory. Bounces off the umbrella. One count, 1 out on the board. Emily Hall. So now take this next pitch. Outside in the corner, finds the zone. 1-2 count.
A pretty pitch from Hall. Screwball working away from Hood. Catches the outside corner, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This time, that goes right in the right field. Great way to corral that. That is Riley Smith. 2 outs on the board.
Yeah, very, very efficient inning. Really 2 2/3 innings thus far from Emily Hall. But now with Baldridge coming back to the plate, be the second time the Johnson Royals will get a look at Emily Hall. Usually the second, third time through the lineup, see these bats start to come alive, and certainly if you're a Johnson Royals fan, you hope that's the case now.
She'll take this next pitch. That one a bit low. Also called for a ball. 2-0 count.
Baldridge, a great leadoff hitter for Johnson.
There's Riley Smith backtracking. That will be caught. 3 up, 3 down. Brenau slowing down Johnson's offense through 3 innings. We go into the top of the 4th. Royals with 1 hit. Brenau with 5. We will see if their offense can continue and try to drive in some more runs here at Southeast Sports Network.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
Top of the 4th inning action. Alyssa Nicely, she will be entering the circle again. 37 total pitches. She has 3 innings of work. 2 batters struck out.
Giving up those 2 earned runs to Brenau. The Golden Tigers ahead 2-0. And it seemed like Deshawn, nicely started off. She was working clean. Then back in that 3rd inning, the mini hit parade started for Brenau, and able to drive in a couple runs.
That's something we've seen for Brenau. When they get going, especially when they get those hits, it just turns into a different game for the Golden Tigers.
Yeah, I think they're fast. They like to steal bases, take extra bases, and that part of the lineup is so dynamic. It's so versatile, so fast, and it's almost like when one of them gets on, it just feeds the rest of them. And we saw that in the 3rd inning. Put up those 2 big runs to take the lead over Johnson.
Allie Busby up to bat, 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch was called a strike. That pitch a bit low, called for a ball, 1-1 count.
Yeah, that one hit about 5 feet in front of home plate. Maybe slipped out of her hands.
That is going to be hit right past infield, 1-out single. Busby will now make her way to first.
Nice piece of hitting by Busby. Took that pitch from Nicely, drove it up the middle, 1-out single, puts a runner aboard for Brenau.
The right fielder, number 8.
We're in the top of the 4th inning.
Riley Smith, right fielder, out to bat. She'll get some contact. That does go into foul territory. 0-1 count. It's now next pitch taken. She will get contact. That is going to be thrown at first. Advances a runner over.
Yeah, moves a runner over to 3rd, does a job to Smith. Brings Charlotte Smith back to the plate.
The shortstop, number 11, Charlotte Smith.
She flew out to left field her first time up. This situation for Smith, a hit scores a run. First pitch called strike. No balls, 1 strike to count to Charlotte Smith.
2 outs on the board. Busby on second. Nicely will look to take this next pitch. That one a bit outside and low. That will go for a ball, 1-1 count.
Smith, the number 9 hitter, can find her way on. Brings up Dayton Power, who has had herself a day from the plate. Already 2 singles in this game.
If you're Johnson, with the runner on, you want to leave that runner stranded. Try to force this last out. Get your offense going. Try to match Brenau's intensity. The next pitch is called a strike. 2-2 count. Now Deuces on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
There's a great location on that pitch from Nicely, low in the zone.
Now she'll take this next pitch to get some contact on that. That does go into foul territory.
With 2 strikes, Smith can ill afford to take anything that's close. Just threw her hands out. That outside pitch fouls it away. She'll see another 2-2 count.
Nicely pitch. That one low. Full count. Payoff pitch coming for Nicely.
Yeah, huge pitch upcoming to Sean. A walk brings power to the plate. An out in any form gets you out of this inning.
It's great contact from Charlotte Smith, keeping it at a full count. And we've seen, even with 2 outs on the board, if you can force a walk, if you can get another base hit, you get back at that top of the lineup, that can start something.
A little 2-out rally is what Brenau's hoping for. Smith fouls another one off down the third base line.
And we've seen that a few times in this
We
tournament
have,
for Brenau.
yeah. I mean, you just go back and look at their run totals just in this tournament alone, and they have put some runs across the plate. That's a big, big reason they're here in the championship game.
Continuing to compete at the plate. I mean, also Brenau has played in different conditions as well. They've played with the sun. They've played under the lights. They've played in the morning. They've played at different times now. I mean, at this point, it's just about being focused and being a unit.
Focus and repetition.
This time, Nicely will force that last out, gets her to swing. That will be strikeout number 3. So now we go into the bottom of the 4th. Johnson with an opportunity to get that offense going. We will find out what will happen here on Southeast Sports Network in Kingsport, Tennessee. Bottom of the 4th action, Audrey Morehouse will be leading off for the Royals. She singled right into in the infield, right by second base, made her way to first, looking to try to get her second hit.
Shows bunt, pulls it back. Say ball 1. Brenau, the Brenau faithful here. I think she had her bat extended as the ball went by it. So
A little bit of contention in the crowd, but call stands.
Hey, great crowds here all this week. Some more vocal than others.
As that is going to be hit into left field. First out, Busby will force that.
Yeah, just another, 2-pitch at bat from Emily Hall.
Second baseman number 7, Madison Thacker-Wolf.
And I said it in the last inning. She's been very efficient in the circle. Already pitched 1 complete game today. As Madison Thacker-Wolf tries to lay the bunt down the third base line, trickles foul.
Brings it to 0-1 count. Madison Thacker-Wolf 0 for 1 on the day. Last time at bat was a 4-3 put out. Looking to try to get on base. Gets contact on that. That is going to go right into center field. Dayton Power will get that second out. 2 quick outs.
Well, Dayton Power getting her steps in out in the outfield. Her 3rd put out of the game, 4th put out of the game.
First baseman, number 24, Megan
She does such a good job out in center field. Just, her speed, her range, the ability to get to, fly balls like that in the gap. Just a huge asset for Brenau's defense.
And this time, line right to Ava Moon. So if you have Dayton Power, Ava Moon on the defensive side, they're going to do something well. That is a 3-up, 3-down type of inning. We have seen that in the last 2 for Johnson. Right now, their offense is a bit slower, and so we will see if Brenau can get those hits, get on, and drive in some more runs here on Southeast Sports Network.
They did not. Number 3, Dayton Power.
Top of the 5th action, and who better to lead off than Dayton Power, 2 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, back to the top of the order. 3rd time through now for Brenau. And Power, she didn't need a 2nd time through or a single in her first plate appearance, singled in the 3rd inning. Gets underneath this one and retired on the fly out to left field.
Second baseman, number 1.
And that's a big out if you're Johnson. You finally retire Power. Keeps her off the bases, but now you got to deal with Ava Moon.
That lineup's so dangerous. You're always dealing with multiple players.
And that was, Moon tried to bunt. It died right in front of the batter's box. And an absolutely fantastic play from the catcher for Johnson, Ella Hampton, coming out of her crouch to field that one through a missile to first to retire Moon.
Now that first pitch is called a ball. 2 quick outs already. 1-0 count. She'll take this pitch. As Halsey gets that. Only needed 4 pitches in this inning, and 3 outs are on the board.
None left on base. Headed to the bottom of the 5th.
I'm not going to make a comment about how fast this game's being played because I know what happens when you say something like that. But just a well-played game thus far from both teams, and just a situation where Brenau able to get those 2 runs on the board and hold this 2-run lead as we move to the bottom of the 5th.
Bottom of the 5th action. Emily Hall will return to the circle. 4 innings pitched, 34 total pitches, and something that you said has come into fruition where not having to use as many pitches, her defense really backing her up right now.
Yeah, she's, one of those pitch to contact hitters, and Johnson's putting it in play but hitting it right at the defense for Brenau. And that's a huge advantage if you're Brenau. Trying to force the if necessary game.
Next pitch is called a ball, 1-1 count. 1-1 count. Hall, she gets the signal. She'll get ready to take this next pitch. A little bit outside that zone. That is called for a ball, 2-1 count.
Yeah, pitch just misses low and away, and this is the most pitches she's had to throw to a batter in a long time.
Next pitch. Also misses the zone. That will make it a 3-1 count. Autumn Kaywood with the advantage.
Yeah, Kaywood leading off this inning for Johnson, Dickerson, and Burns due up next. That ball is laced. Foul ball. And that one.
Wow.
That one left the yard, but just foul for Autumn Kaywood. And we took a collective deep breath because Johnson almost hung one on the board in a hurry.
Now Hall, she'll take this pitch. This time, leadoff walk. Kaywood makes her way to first. It's the first time in the last few innings where we have seen a Johnson player now on base.
Yeah, the first time this game Johnson been able to get a leadoff runner aboard via the free pass to Autumn Kaywood.
As Dickerson will be thrown out, but that moves Kaywood to second, so does the job.
Yeah, sack bunt to retire Dickerson. Like you said, Deshaun Kaywood now on second. Reese Burns up next.
Reese Burns.
Grounded out to Ava Moon at second, her last time up.
First pitch a bit low, called for a ball.
Seemed like Johnson, being a little more deliberate at the plate, not swinging at the first pitch. Pretty pitch from Hall on the outside corner. Already in the bottom of the fifth inning.
It's now 1-1 count. Reese Burns gets some contact on that. That does crowd that right field line. Goes into foul territory.
Yeah, just once again on a batted ball like that from a right-hand batter, it will tail away from the field of play. Turns just foul. Batters will return, and we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Burns. This one a little more foul. Not that that really matters, but another foul ball from Burns. Count will remain 1-2. Here's the pitch from Hall.
Reese Burns, great at bat so far, getting some contact on it. Kaywood on second.
It is a great at bat from Burns, Deshaun. She's just seeing a lot of pitches, making Hall work for this out.
Another foul ball. Almost hitting to the other softball field behind us.
Next pitch from Hall will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Burns has fouled the last 4 off.
Takes the next pitch. This time hit right to Ava Moon. Ava Moon dives, but Reese Burns will be safe. Kaywood advances to third. That was going to be a great play if she could just get up and turn, throw the first. That's still a great dive by Moon.
Yeah,
that could have went further.
She didn't get the out, but that was still a great play. If that gets by Moon, Kaywood scores from second. Moon laying out, stopping the ball, throw not in time. So now runners on the corners for Johnson with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Burns makes her way to second. First pitch called strike, so now you have Burns on second, Kaywood on third.
Ella Hampton at the plate. And here with only one out, Johnson can put a run on the board in a lot of different ways. A fly ball, if it's deep enough, Kaywood will tag from third. A hit will score two.
Hampton hits it in outfield. Kaywood's going to make her way home. First run scored. Johnson gets into the scoring column.
Yeah, that was just deep enough in right field to score Kaywood, and a heady play from Brenau. Instead of throwing home, trying to tag out Kaywood, they throw to second, which keeps Burns from advancing. So now 2 outs, runner on second for Johnson. Madison Hood at the plate for Johnson. She flew out to center field back in the third inning. 0 for 1 on the day.
First pitch called strike, 0-1 count. This time, get some good contact on it. That is going to fly right into center field. Power corrals that out. So now Johnson does end this inning, adding 1 run. So now we will see if Brenau can move that lead up, or if Johnson can hold off Brenau and try to get their offense back on this field. We will see here on Southeast Sports Network here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Top of the 6th action, 2-1 game. Allie McGee is going to lead off at bat, and Alyssa Nicely will be returning to the circle. 5 innings of work, 3 batters struck out, 2 runs given up, 60 total pitches. She'll take this first pitch.
Swung on into left field.
That's going to drop.
Be a leadoff single for Allie McGee.
Would have been a great play in left field from Reese Burns.
Yeah, Burns gave a valiant effort. Just couldn't haul it in. So looks like we'll have a runner for McGee.
And that is going to be number 2, Peyton Hawkins. So Peyton Hawkins, who did have to leave the game earlier, will be on base to run.
Yeah, Hawkins once again sustained an injury last night. Yesterday, came back, finished that game. Tried to play earlier today. It's an arm injury around her elbow, and just unable to swing a bat. And that's really unfortunate for Brenau. She's such a fantastic hitter, great softball player. Brought on in this situation to run, and you can see from the press box and arm in obvious discomfort, but giving it all for her team. Bree Brookshire at the plate, 0 for 2 on the day.
Showing bunt. That goes right in front. She will throw it to second. That's a great play.
Yes, it is a 5-4 putout to retire Hawkins at second. Brookshire safe at first. On the fielder's choice.
Kelly Dale.
And Callie Dale coming to the plate.
First pitch called strike. Brings to 0-1 count.
Yeah, so many times in that situation, you know, you just go to first and get the out, leave the runner on second.
This time she'll throw the runner out at first. Hawkins will advance to second. 2 outs on the board.
1-3 put out to retire Dale. Brings up Allie Busby.
The left fielder, number 4, Allie Busby.
Allie Busby, 1 for 2 on the day. Had that base hit in that last inning. So now, nicely, takes first pitch, called strike. 0-1 count.
Yeah, great location on that pitch from Nicely. Right on the knees on the outside corner. Busby watches it for strike one.
Goes right into foul territory.
Yeah, that one was one of those ones that starts off, you think it's fair, and it just turns and turns, and it's foul by about a foot, but foul nonetheless. No balls, 2 strikes.
That one bounces off.
That allows Brookshire to go to third. It's now an insurance run for Brenau, just 60 feet away.
Another ball hitting the foul territory. Keeps it at a 1-2 count.
Two to one is their score, top of the 6th inning. AAC championship on the line.
2 outs on the board. Nicely. Outside pitch. That is called for a ball. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brookshire, 60 feet away, scoring position. That is also hitting the foul territory.
Thought that one was going to roll back fair for a split second. Hits the dirt, spins foul.
Would have been exactly what they needed.
Yeah, this has been. Yeah, so I was going to say that's only ball 3. Works the count now, full count to Busby. Payoff pitch upcoming. That's well struck. That's down.
And that is going to be down. That is a run scored. So instead of walking to first, she'll get a RBI single.
Just a great piece of hitting from Busby. Very patient at bat. Saw a lot of pitches. Took that outside pitch. Just dropped it into right field. And that brings home Bree Brookshire and makes our score 3-1 Brenau.
That first pitch called for a ball. 1-0 count.
Riley Smith at the plate for Brenau.
Last pitch hitting the foul territory. She had a sack bunt at her last at bat. Now that pitch a bit low.
Yeah, good spot from Nicely, trying to get Riley Smith to chase something out of the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Gets contact. That is going to go right into left field. Last out of the inning. Now we go into the bottom of the 6th.
Head to the bottom of the 6th. Brenau now leads 3-1.
Brenau adds a run, added a hit, 8 hits, 3 runs. Johnson with 2 hits right now. They will go into the bottom of the inning. Looking for some answers on the offensive end. We'll take a quick break here with Southeast Sports Network. Bottom of the 6th action, Emily Hall will return to the circle. 5 innings of work, 52 pitches, 1 batter walked, 1 earned run. Sloan Baldridge will be leading off, the leadoff hitter, center fielder. 0 for 2 on the day, looking to try to get a hit going. in this inning. Johnson down 3-1.
Third time through the lineup now for Johnson with Baldridge due up, the leadoff hitter. And if you're Johnson, you're running out of outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Only 6 outs remain. If you want to just play one today, now's the time.
As that is going to be singled right up the middle. Baldridge, leadoff single. She'll get on base. Hit number 3 for Johnson.
Back-to-back innings for Johnson, getting the leadoff runner aboard. They were able to push one across in the 5th inning.
Fielder, number 5, Audrey Morehouse.
They'll need 2 to tie it, 3 to take the lead.
With Audrey Morehouse, 1 for 2 on the day. Looking to try to get that second hit, at least advance. Baldridge over, went for the bunt. That will be called for a strike.
Yeah, and you see sort of, this is how Johnson tried to play this out in the 5th. Leadoff runner on, sack bunt, driver home. Corners crashing for Brenau. Back to the pitcher.
And she will be called out at first. Moves Baldridge to second.
So the sack bunt from Morehouse does a job. Baldridge on second. Madison Thacker Wolf at the dish.
At first pitch, a little bit low. That's called for a ball. 1-0 count. Madison Thacker Wolf 0 for 2 on the day. So now that is going to be hitting the foul territory. 1-1 count.
And Johnson looking to string some hits together here. Dugout's been pretty quiet the whole game, and now they feel they got a little something to cheer for. Trying to rally the troops.
That is going to be popped into the infield, and that is going to be the second out of this inning as Halsey comes in, popped up right into her glove.
Megan Armstrong.
Deshaun, you mentioned something yesterday about communication. Halsey did a great job there calling off the pitcher, Emily Hall, coming in to squeeze that out for out number 2, and that's a big one.
And that goes back to your point earlier when we were watching CIU. You know, sometimes you don't want to have your pitcher coming in to try to get every pop-up in the infield if you don't have to.
Yeah, a lot of times it's just the spin of the ball is tailing away from them. It's a very difficult catch to make for a pitcher.
Get her to swing on that. That is a 1-1 count.
Megan Armstrong 0 for 2 today. Hit would score a run right here.
And this goes up the middle. Baldridge is going to round third. She's going to make her way home. That's a throw right into center field. Johnson, second run of the day. RBI, two out single, RBI.
Yeah, just a great piece of hitting from Armstrong. Took that right back up the middle. Great effort by Dayton Power in center field. Caught it cleanly. Good throw home. Just not in time to retire Baldridge. She crosses the plate. 3-2 is the score. 1 on, 2 out for Johnson.
Autumn Kaywood up to the plate. Gets contact. That is going to fly into center field. Dayton Power will get that final out. So Johnson does corral 1 run in this inning. Added 2 hits.
1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base.
So now we go into the 7th.
Inning. The score is now
For Johnson.
3-2 for now.
You want to slow this team down, force 3 outs, and you go in and have another shot to either tie this or take the win. We will find out what will happen after this quick break on Southeast Sports Network. Charlotte Smith leads off this inning. We are in the top of the 7th. First pitch called strike.
Yeah, this inning for Brenau, it will be 9-1-2 Charlotte Smith, Dayton Power, Ava Moon. 9-1-2 for the Golden Tigers, looking to add an insurance run as they lead 3-2 here in the top of the 7th inning.
Next pitch is going to be called for a ball, one count.
Ball in the dirt. Looks like it bounced off the left wrist of the Johnson catcher, Ella Hampton. She's shaking it off, but
hopefully she is okay. I'm putting some dirt on it.
yeah, these catchers are tough. You got to be. I've always said you got to be tough, crazy, or both to be a catcher, and sometimes it's a little bit of all the above.
Yeah. Alyssa nicely in the circle. She'll take this next pitch. That one a bit low for a ball. 2-1 counts. 6 innings of work for Nicely. 3 batters struck out. 77 total pitches.
That's what I like about Ella Hampton. She first pitch goes off her wrist. The next one comes in the dirt. She slides over and blocks it just like she's been taught to do. Great catcher for Johnson.
That is going to be corralled for the first out. That is a great way to get that from Hood. 6-3 put out.
Yeah, just a great job by Hood fielding her position. Approached the ball, stepped around it. Clean catch, great throw across the diamond to record the out on Charlotte Smith. 1 down. Dayton Power at the plate.
This is important for Nicely as that's a first pitch called strike. Try to retire Power again. Already 2 for 3 on the day. Your next 2 at bats with Power and Moon, as that's an outside pitch. Try to get her to chase. Called for a ball. Obviously, for Alyssa Nicely, the stakes of Power and Moon at bat, that would be really important going into this bottom of the 7th.
Extremely important to Sean, and you know, we just talked about it all week, how efficient Brenau is when they get on base. And re-entered 14, Allie McGee. She singled back in the 6th inning, had a courtesy runner, Peyton Hawkins. You're going to go ahead and re-enter her in case she gets back up to bat this inning.
1-2 count. Pitch a bit low, called for a ball. 2-2 count. Now takes the next pitch. This time, great way to field that by Thacker Wolf. 4-3 put out.
Yeah, Wolf, you know, you'll hear outfielders being taught to get down on one knee to keep the ball from going underneath their glove. Madison Thacker Wolf that time dropped to both knees to make sure that didn't happen. Caught it cleanly over to first to retire Power for the 2nd out here in the top of the 7th inning.
So Ava Moon up to bat. 2 outs on the board.
Had an RBI double back in the 2nd. Hit a big 2-run home run in their earlier game today when they defeated Tennessee Wesleyan.
And that was after about 4 to 5 foul balls in a row.
Yeah, just a tough out. So aware of the strike zone and how to protect it. And she's, you know, a pesky hitter. She'll make you make a mistake and drive one just like that. But it's got underneath it. Flew out to left field for out number 3.
Fans, do not go anywhere. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Johnson has an opportunity to try to tie or bring in the game-winning run. We will see what will happen. Can Brenau hold the Royals and force another game? We will find out on Southeast Sports Network here in Kingsport, Tennessee.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
Leading off for Johnson, third baseman.
Brickyard Park, we are at the bottom of the 7th for the championship game. Allie Dickerson is going to lead off. Business is picking up here in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Yeah, business is booming, especially if you're Brenau. If Brenau wins this game, it will force an if necessary game that will be later on this afternoon. If Johnson wins, they are the ACC tournament champions. Ava Moon retires Allie Dickerson on a foul ball behind first base, and she plays second.
She's everywhere.
What a play from
Fielder, number 22.
Moon. Just covers a lot of ground out there at second. Retires Dickerson, 1 out now here in the bottom of the 7th.
Now you have Reese Burns at bat. She is 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch called strike. Emily Hall so far in the circle, 6.5 innings pitched. 2 runs given up, no batter struck out, 1 batter walked, 65 total pitches.
65 pitches through 6 1/3 is very impressive.
That's going to drop. That's going to be a 1-out single. She will get on base. Reese Burns feeling the energy.
And now if you're Johnson, you have to see how Coach Dana Carter plays this out. A runner on first, a tying run. But if you sacrifice her over to second, you're giving up an out. Then you'd have 2 outs. You'd have to have a hit to score Burns.
That first pitch a little bit high, called for a ball. 1-0 count.
Coach Dana Carter for Johnson. Played at Oklahoma, was on the coaching staff at Tennessee. Coached high school around Knoxville for around 20 years. She's been around the game a long time.
And that's going to bring Burns to second. She is going to be safe.
So now you save the sacrifice. Burns steals second, puts herself in scoring position with only 1 out. Hampton had a sac fly RBI back in the 5th. Flew out to left field. Looking for her first hit today, and what a time it would be if she can make it happen.
Pitch a bit low in the dirt. 2-1 count. Hampton being as patient, watching the pitches and seeing where she can, if she needs to swing at it, and she'll look for this next pitch from Hall. That gets some contact. That's going. That is going to be into right field. Burns makes her way to third. 2 outs on the board. That at least puts Burns in scoring position 60 feet away.
That ball nearly left the yard. A great play by Allie Busby near the fence to haul that in for out number 2 to retire
Shortstop, number 14.
Ella Hampton. And now Johnson down to their last out. The tying run 60 feet away. Madison Hood at the plate.
Madison Hood 0 for 2 on the day.
First pitch swinging from Hood. Fouls it off.
Oh, 1 count, 2 outs on the board. Burns on third, Hood at bat. Hall looking to take this next pitch. Outside called for a ball.
Brenau wanting a called strike just off the plate. Evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hood.
Johnson's dugout just getting into it. So now that is going to be popped into right field. We have a if game on the way. We are not done yet today.
Not extra innings, Deshaun, but free softball. A lot of these folks paid admission this morning expecting to see 2 games. They're going to see 3.
You're going to see 3, absolutely.
And we'll have that 3rd game for you, the deciding game. 1 game winner take all between Johnson and Brenau for the AAC softball championship.
The beauty about that type of game, there's no ifs, ands, or buts after that. That is the deciding factor.
That's it. And, it's first of all, tip of the cap to Emily Hall.
Absolutely.
What a performance by her today. Gets the win over Tennessee Wesleyan earlier today. And, there was a lot of discussion whether she would pitch again. Not only did she pitch a complete game victory for Emily Hall, 2 wins on the day, and puts her team in a position to battle once again for this AAC championship.
Golden Tigers, Royals, Part 2 will be coming up. About an hour in between games, but we do have another game on Southeast Sports Network. If you are watching from home or anywhere else, tune in because it is going to happen again here. I'm Deshaun Bullock with Jeff Campbell. We will see you in about an hour.